How we doing, meteorologist Steve Fundera here. The impressive March rain continues. We've already seen over 7 inches the month so far, when we typically see for the entire month about 3 3/4 of an inch of rain here. We've got a lot more on the way, too, this week. We are already in a top 10 wettest March on record, sitting at 8th on the list there, again, with about 7 inches of rain so far this month. And as I mentioned earlier, there's a lot more on the way. Wednesday night into Thursday, big cold front's going to drop into the region here, then stall out. So we see rain develop late Wednesday night and guide us all the way through the night, all the way through our Thursday. And we're talking about 2+ inches of rain, maybe even over 3 inches of rain in a couple locations across town here. This could easily put our rainfall for the month in top 5 category, maybe even higher than that here. Here's the big front on satellite and radar. It looks like it's getting close, but we have a relatively dry night to deal with tonight, outside of some little bit of drizzle here or there, and most of the daylight hours tomorrow on Wednesday will be dry. We're just dealing with the clouds and this kind of stubborn, salty air mass from the stubborn big area low pressure that's still offshore. This thing hasn't really gone anywhere. It's been drifting to the south. It's held that persistent northeast breeze, crept in those kind of eerie, gray, gloomy clouds. We've seen a little bit of drizzle out of them. Some spritz and sprinkles here or there. You may notice that on the highway if you're driving this evening, but relatively we're remaining dry. The high tides have also been elevated. We've seen some issues on NC-12 south towards Ocracoke, Buxton, Hatteras. Parts of NC-12 going to remain closed for the next day or so as we deal with the next couple elevated high tide cycles. There will be some ocean overwash with tonight's high tide cycle, and then maybe again for tomorrow morning's high tide cycle. So kind of trouble driving down that way. Those down south in the Outer Banks are used to a kind of a nor'easter situation like this, but just be careful if you're headed down that way or you're driving around. You may run into some detours across Hampton Roads and across town. For the rest of us, we've got clouds remaining stubborn through the night as they have all day today, and kind of chilly. Temps sitting in the 40s here. Does not feel like spring by any means. A little warmer tomorrow, temps close to 60. But we keep the clouds, and the breeze slowly switches out of the southeast. That's ahead of the rainfall that's on the way, ahead of the approaching front. It'll move in with a couple showers by the afternoon. Most of the rain develops after sunset, or at least by the evening, and that gets us through the night into our soaking, soggy day on Thursday. Future Track has the clouds sticking around for the majority of the night, for the majority of Wednesday. Notice, though, Wednesday, during the daylight hours, we're pretty dry. Rain's getting close. If you look off towards I-95, we see a few showers starting to develop across the region by the 5-6 o'clock hour here, scattered in nature. Then those scattered showers become more widespread once we get past sunset and into the late night hours. Now we're dealing with pretty much widespread rainfall overnight into early Thursday morning. We've got some pockets of heavy rain developing, thrown into the mix for Thursday morning's commute. Then it's kind of just some light, persistent rain for most of the afternoon before it all moves out by Thursday evening and late Thursday night. We will dry out for Friday, and we will dry out for the weekend, and we've got some warmth for Easter weekend as well. Temps closer to 70 degrees both Saturday and Sunday.